casting Liu Kang.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure I understand the thought process of that one. Why not Kano?
I mean, that's true.
Or any of the other Black Dragon?
That's true. I mean, I guess I look at it from a gameplay standpoint. I want Liu Kang arrested for his crimes against Mortal Kombat 11.
What about my own fan fiction theory is that the Black Dragon and Red Dragon characters that aren't in this game, so, you know, Jarek, Movado, Kira, none of those characters are in MK11 because before the game came out, RoboCop locked them away.
Exactly.
RoboCop, you have RoboCop to blame.
Which means that
he locked them all up.
Which means that the next Mortal Kombat game is actually a third-person action game that is going to be all of them breaking out of the OCP prison, and we get an Arkham Asylum Mortal Kombat style game. That's what you're confirming right now, Ketchup.
Can you imagine that? All the Black Dragon like hijacking an Ed 209 and like just ripping parts out and replacing stuff, and it's all like Mad Max, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what we're talking about anymore, but welcome to Combo Breaker. In my ear, I can't see who's on stage, but I think it actually might be Mustard because I'm fairly certain I can hear him in my voice, in my head. His voice. Yeah, I knew it! I knew it was him! I could hear him!
And what a matchup here. This is Wuuuzie, who's been crushing it in the North American online stuff. Good to see him. And in a lot of the offline Northeast stuff, like Combat New Jersey, Viz's event, BGX is what it was called, and a few others. Mustard giving us the horns.
I think this is going to be a really fun set, purely because, I mean, just to reiterate, Mustard and I are on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't get a chance to play in tournaments anymore, and we're out here doing whatever we want.
And he plays a fun character, if he's going to be rocking the Frost that I know him for.
So Mustard is going in all Frost because he plays a variation that involves the regular freeze and the crown. So the bomb, essentially. It gives him, like, the closest thing to playing Cyrax without having Cyrax.
Yeah.
He just has a lot of fun with the variation. The reason I think it could be kind of interesting today, maybe not necessarily in this matchup because he's against Wuuuzie, and Wuuzie's going to be playing Cetrion, so I think on paper definitely I favour Wuuuzie here. This variation in particular, you know, if you're not familiar with what the crown does,
it can.
Mustard has some pretty dirty setups and combos with it. It's basically Cyrax without Cyrax.
Yeah, one hit in the corner, one bomb on the ground, it's going to be a good time. We saw VGY fall to a cryogenic crown Frost earlier, taking a game off of, and it was getting really close in that set as well. So not to be slept on. And I've been seeing Hey George, just the Hey George down in Chile, has been posting nothing but tech with that variation lately, and it's filthy. I don't think Mr. Clean could come up here and wash it up.
It's a really cool variation. However, Mustard, you know, plays a little bit of MK11 every now and then, streams it just for fun sometimes. I think this is a different dynamic because you're going up against Wuuuzie, right? Wuuzie's top-level player, has been competing for years. He's in online tournaments. We've seen him in the Sony tournaments, the Open Series, whatever it was. He's been there.
All of them.
This is definitely going to be a different dynamic, you know. So the only thing that might potentially give Mustard an edge here, not that I don't have any confidence in him whatsoever, you know, 10 years of fundamentals can definitely help, but there's definitely different levels of MK11 tournament experience at play. However, at the same time,
I thought it was him talking for a second. Is that weird?
He knows I'm talking about him. Can he hear me? Yo, Jake, not if you can hear me. No, he can't.
Or is he trolling you?
That's that twin link, man. It freaks me out. It freaks me the
I couldn't
hell out.
tell. I honestly couldn't tell if he could hear you or not.
I got to say, though, a bit full circle, as the first major MK11 tournament was in 2019, and Mustard did make it to finals day.
He did.
Him and Biohazard were the only two remaining Kanos on Championship Sunday, so...
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's quite a few years ago. The very first combo breaker, the very first offline major for the game, and Mustard was out here cooking. He's going to be facing down a literal wall known as Cetrion.
It's going to be a difficult matchup. You know, Wuuuzie is very, very experienced here. He's using one of the best characters in the game. He's a fantastic player. Mustard's going to have to really bring out something special, I think, in this matchup.
I think for him, or for Wuuuzie here, don't get hit. But how much knowledge does he have against the cryogenic crown? It's all going to depend on if Mustard can close this gap that Wuuzie's already established here. That's a lot of boulders.
And that's basically what Mustard's always going to be prepared to do, right? So feel free to go with all the stuff that you want at the end of the day. And he's already established that he knows that. So now Mustard's going to have to do something different. But that's the element of the crown. If you know how the opponent reacts to these situations, you have to mix it up. Kind of like Cyrax and MKX.
Forcing Cetrion to move right there. Not a lot of people Yeah, wow, what a cancel. Knew that the cryogenic crown was going to come. Wuuuzie already in layer number 3 of that mix-up too. And so that's given Mustard a lot of information here early on that he's going to really have to mix things up here against Wuuuzie.
Hey, I mean, this is just round 1, but Woozie's given us some fantastic matchup knowledge. He knows how to deal with the down 1 grab. He was trying to go with the boulder throw, but the moment Mustard used the crown to essentially win the trade, he started going for ground pounds. Now there's going to be a mix-up, right? Boulder or not.
Oh!
He wasn't holding it.
He wasn't even ready for it. He's going to land on it?
He recovered. Yeah, this is going to be a difficult match, I think, because if you're going in for the projectiles, she's just going to hit you instead.
Is Mustard going to close this gap? Nope. Will we see him maybe bring the cryogenic crown along with, I don't know if he can equip both, but is the dive kick or the dive bomb.
But by doing that, you would lose the freeze, and the freeze is instrumental to this variation. Well, Mustard doing what he can to get towards the corner, but Wuuuzie definitely being very comfortable. And that first game, I think, is going to be just very important information. You know, Wuuuzie plays the matchup perfectly well in that game.
That could have been a different match if that grab would have worked, right? That's what's crazy, and what not a lot of people might not know looking at that. Yeah, it looked crazy.
Oh, it's momentum only.
But if that grab works, you're in the corner and guessing again versus Frost.
Ultimately, Mustard just needs that one hit, that one stun to get corner carry, to get set up. But if there's one thing Cetrion's fantastic at doing, it's preventing you from getting that hit.
Yeah.
Her range control is so strong. She has all these different options. She's faster than Frost. She has better buttons in these situations, mostly because of speed.
Yeah, and
so Mustard has to work very hard for that one hit. Hopefully he can get it.
Let's get started here in game number 2. It's Mustard and Wuuuzie here. Combo Breaker 2022. And there's that wall I was talking about Mustard having to get through. Wuuuzie says not today, Mustard. That was his time. These Hell's Rats are just harassing him.
And he wasn't expecting the instant jump kick either, so Woozie's doing a fantastic job of just mixing things up here.
Still going to recover those trades. But as we were talking about, Mustard just needing the one. And speaking of one, the stand one of Mama Cetrion. No joke. Another wall for you here.
I love the fact that we've actually had 2 matches with extremely hardcore zoning. Chat, I bet you're having a great time right now.
Round 2.
Go on, Frost. Do an ice bomb. Yeah. Oh, I missed.
We call these full screen footsies, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, wow. He was making a really big read that maybe he was going to do a Hell's Wrath. Like the idea behind it for Mustard.
There's the delay button. Everything's going to push back to a good range. The natural barrier. And really good job of knocking distance as well. Exactly what you want. I'm going to be honest. I was a little bit concerned that this would happen. I looked at this matchup. I saw that it was Wuuuzie here. And I'm like, uh-oh. A really good Cetrion versus this Frost variation. I don't know about that.
Okay. Inching his way to the corner. Cetrion got out the old-fashioned way, but always has to get out of jail free card in her pocket as long as she's got the defensive bar.
But he's mixing up his projectiles so much that it really feels like Mustard. He's preemptively moving in. Every time he's deciding on one projectile, he's getting hit by a different one. Like, Woozie's doing such a good job of just mixing it up here. The Mustard looks a little bit like, okay, well, I have no idea what projectile you're doing.
Yeah.
I think
you
you're
saw
doing
him
this
make
one
a
and you're
read.
doing the other one.
You saw him make a read on Hell's Wrath. He didn't do a Hell's Wrath. You got it.
Look, I told you, he can't hear me, but he can definitely hear me.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a twin sync right there.
Twinergy, my guy.
Is it Twinergy?
Twinergy, dude. But even Johnny Cage's like, hey, Twinergy.
Hey, Twinergy. I like it.
Go on, Mustard, you can do it, mate. Oh, God.
Oh, no. He's getting beat by Shrek's boulder.
Go on, Jake, get him. No, no,
Wow.
and he's doing that now as well. Wuuuzie.
What a decision from Wuuuzie, though. He saved that for game 3. Man, that's a rough day at the office here as the flawless victory is getting closer for Wuuuzie. Just avoiding the cryogenic crown.
Yeah,
There's
no
the chip
fool.
there.
Yeah.
Let's go, Mustard. He's in there.
Let's go, Jake. Go on, Jake. Oh, God. Match point for Wuuuzie, but
Did you hear the pain in Ketchup's voice right there?
look, it looks like a kind of hard matchup, ain't gonna lie. All right. Oh,
I
and
still
again,
believe.
he decides.
I still believe in the one. I believe in the one, Ketchup. That's all he needs.
All right.
Yeah, there's a bit of chip.
You want to do project? Yeah, go on.
GG's. GG's.
Hey,
Mustard's got
hey,
this thing,
yeah,
chip.
yeah, get him.
Oh, that was a good roll.
That was actually a really
Okay,
good roll.
okay.
That was a really good roll. Jake
Really good roll.
even did something different there. Yeah! Go on, get him. No!
Oh, that was the read for Hellstrath too. You really hate to see it. Put that on the long list. One
Oh, I think he tried it with punish. Go on, Jake. Get him. No, he blocked it. Oh, he was looking for floors for it. You see that? Do. All right, where do we go from here?
Go live.
Uh-oh.
Fatal blow in a dream. He can react to something. Oh no. He's in. Oh, and he gets shimmied by the dash of Wuuuzie, and that's gonna be 3-0. The two chances he got with the cryogenic crown, Wuuuzie was he had the reads already. Because so many people are gonna be unfamiliar with what to do right there. Blocking's not an option. Wake up 3, not an option. Wake up 2, not an option. That bomb's still gonna get you. But he knew to wait for after the down one to hold up. And the roll got him out of dodge again because he had already established that he knew the throw. That meant that Jake had to establish a strike in the mix-up, and he was already ready for that too with the roll.
I tell you what,
that's just someone being in someone's head a little bit.
Wuuuzie could not have played that matchup any better. Like, he played it perfectly, where you can't compete with the distance because Frost, she's not going to have the same damage for trading. The adaptation, that was actually really impressive because we're sitting there having a good time, we're laughing about it, but at the same time, Wuuuzie hits one trade with the rock and immediately stops doing the rock. I think the traded ice crown only really happened a couple more times. Every other time it didn't work.
Yep.
The mixing up of the projectiles was perfect. It pretty much meant that Frost couldn't get in at all. And the 2 separate times there was a hit landed, he actually made the perfect decision to get out that were vastly different. So, the down one, the neutral jump to punish the grab, matchup knowledge.
Yep.
The next time it happened, he must have known that Mustard took note of what he used to get out, and then he tries to roll. A very different play.
And
I've never seen someone play against that variation so perfectly.
And
It's
to
great.
have